Well, hey there, folks. Welcome back to Good Things for Good People, little tiny YouTube channel. Hi there, baby. Hi, just sweetie dog. The little tiny YouTube channel with a little tiny cute dog with great big dreams of changing the world for good. One view and one viewer at a time. Today is Tuesday. It has been a gray, rainy, crappy, terrible day here in Central Ohio, but that doesn't mean we're not going to be positive today. Today we're going to be positive. Hi, baby dog. I know. I missed you too. I did. It's nice to have a little puppy dog. I tell you, they're like magical little creatures. Instantly make you feel better. No matter how good your day has been and how bad your day has been, they're always excited to see you and glad you're home. Today, I want to thank you first off for a heck of a good video that is growing very, very well that I totally did not expect to see do much of anything. And that is the dam video. The video I filmed at Norse Dam is apparently taking off for some particular reason, and it's kind of our first video that's kind of done like mini viral status. As of right now, I think it's at like 650 views, which is awesome. It's our most viewed video so far. Unfortunately, it's only like a 4.5-minute video, so the watch time's not going to be super great, but that's how things work. You never know what's going to happen. You just keep posting stuff and keep doing what you're doing. Keep throwing things at the wall until something sticks. It may not necessarily be what the channel is completely about, but it is helping the channel grow, so I'm happy that it's doing what it's doing. So anyway, for those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Good Things for Good People. The whole idea with this channel is it's a small channel that we've designed to be able to do, well, as the name implies, good things for good people. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to bring together like-minded, positive, energetic, charitable, philanthropic type folks that are going to be comfortable watching a video and supporting a cause. And instead of making a donation in cash, all you're doing is donating your time. By you spending time on this video, clicking on it, watching the video, it's going to generate revenue for the channel, which we can use to be able to do good things for good people. Now, today's topic is not going to be about all of that, but today's topic is going to be called the 80-20 rule, and it's a pretty well-known thing in charity that I want to go over with you guys and explain why it is and why things are actually maybe getting even worse as far as a split than 80-20. We might be on our way to like a 90-10. So give me just a second. I need to let my dog outside real quick. She's been hanging around here all day long by herself. I'll be right back with you. You want to go outside? Huh? You want to go outside? Yeah, I know. You want to go outside? Yeah. Okay, let's go outside. So what actually is the 80-20 rule? Well, if you're into fractions, as I know you probably are, the 80-20 rule is pretty simple, and it actually kind of goes across a couple of different things. It's not just in the charity world that it's applicable. The 80-20 rule says that 80% of your donations are going to come from 20% of the people who make donations. And thus, 20% of your donations will come from the other 80%, which means that a small group of people are making the largest amount of impact. Now, that shouldn't come as much of a surprise to most people, because if you think about it, the wealthy, typically speaking, those who have the highest concentration of money, are going to be the people who typically have the highest ability to be able to make a charitable contribution. And they're also going to be the people that are largely the most motivated to actually make that kind of contribution. When it comes to charitable giving, it's not necessarily just about the giving side of it. As much as we like to think about the fact that people do the giving side of things and the charitable side of things and the non-profit side of things for truly altruistic type of reasonings, because they want good things to happen, because they want to be able to do things that will improve the world around them and the society around them, that's not oftentimes the largest motivator. A lot of times people are making those donations because they are, say it with me now, tax deductible. Yes, folks, when you donate to a 501c3, your donation is going to be tax deductible. When you donate to all sorts of different things, or whether it's cash or investments or cars or boats or whatever it is that you may be donating, clothes even, when you're donating to a qualified charity, you see a tax deductible situation on your taxes. So if you happen to be somebody who has a lot of tax obligations for a year, a lot of those folks, aka the wealthy, will make a charitable contribution to one charity or another, or even a foundation that they maybe have even set up for themselves or through themselves to be able to take that money and reduce their tax burden for that year. Now, typically speaking, the only people who are really interested in doing this are people who have a much larger tax burden than probably everybody else who's watching this video, including myself. Most of us are just average Joe Schmoes. We work a normal blue collar or white collar job, we pay our taxes, we maybe do a little bit of charitable stuff here and there, but generally speaking, we don't have a real complicated tax situation. We're not looking at itemized tax deductions where we're keeping track of thousands of dollars that are moving back and forth between our incomes and our charitable contributions. Now, if you are on the wealthier side of things, which if you are, it's great to have you here. Nice to see you. Your situation can be considerably more complicated. You could have investments, you could have properties, you could have inheritances, you could have your normal income that you're going to be making off of whatever your job is. There can be all sorts of different income streams that you're going to need to be able to shelter and protect some of that money. And the best way to do that is through charitable contributions. Also, consequently, when you are making those charitable contributions, it does make you look like a considerably better person. Not saying that you're not maybe a great person, but when you make a large charitable contribution to, I don't know, Save the Children or Children's Leukemia or some sort of veterans type of thing, you make a large charitable contribution, it is seen publicly. It is acknowledged publicly. You might even do it at a charity fundraiser. You might host something where you're going to be donating away $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, $1 million to that charity, in which case, A, you're seeing major benefit for yourself, but you're also benefiting a charity, but you're also benefiting your image. And that's kind of one of the things that's a little bit of a touchy subject in the charity space, is we need to protect and court those large donors. We need to thank them for their patronage. We need to appreciate the gift of what they are giving to whatever it is charity that they are giving to that's enabling that charity or that foundation to do its work. Now, on the flip side of that entire token is the 80 who give 20. And the 80% is pretty much you and I. It's the normal folks. The ones that, donate to Goodwill. They donate to the Salvation Army. They donate to police fraternity type stuff, or Volunteers of America, or Meals on Wheels, or any of the smaller charities that we typically see that are fundraising locally, that have a local grassroots thing. They may donate to St. Jude's. There's a number of different charities that are out there. There's hundreds of them. There's thousands of them. You may have one that's near and dear to your heart. If you happen to have had somebody that's gone through something, a child that's been through some sort of a medical situation, or some sort of person that maybe has Alzheimer's or has died of cancer, or you name it, there's a charity out there for it. And typically speaking, most people are going to be charitable if they can. If you have enough income, if you have enough asset, if you have enough liquid cash that you can make a donation, you're typically going to do it. But your donation is typically going to be on a much smaller scale that's going to be contingent to what it is you make. So those of us who are in the 80% are going to give when we can, how we can. We're typically speaking not in the position where we're going to be able to give away a huge amount of money, or to be able to do it to the point where it's going to greatly affect our tax burden. So typically speaking, we're doing it out of our own good of our own hearts, or somebody maybe has pulled on that heartstring for us, or we've had somebody in our lives that have been affected by whatever it is that we're making that donation towards, or whatever foundation or charity we're making that towards. And it's interesting to see that typically speaking, a huge portion of the population makes up such a small portion of the charitable contributions that are made. And it ends up being kind of an outsized impact of those chosen few who happen to be financially independent and able to make that major impact, have a massive impact on what succeeds in the charity space, or what direction charities can even go. What programs within those charities may get funded, if it's maybe a qualified donation that has some stipulations based on how that money that they are donating is to be used. Maybe they have placed stipulations and qualifications on that. Instead of just writing a blank check to a charity, there may be something that's maybe a pet project of their own that they want to see funded, and that's where their donations go. Versus most of us just kind of just donate to the Red Cross or Salvation Army or wherever, and we hope that our contribution is being used for what we want it to be used. Now, I did talk about in a previous video, actually just yesterday, in my Omaze video, about the fact that there are also companies out there that do generation of charitable donations, whether it's through a sweepstakes, or if you want to call it a lottery, or raffles or giveaways or waffles, whatever you want to call it. And those things will oftentimes, they will be a for-profit process, right? They will be doing some sort of a fundraiser to be able to bring revenue in for a charity. But the lion's share of all of this over here does not necessarily end up where we think it is in that charity. You know, maybe 10, 15, 20% of it ends up being passed through that money-making organization to get into that charity. And all of that only has so much of an impact, whereas that 20% can have an outsized impact. Now, what I'm trying to do with this channel, and what I believe you guys are interested in, is kind of give a little bit more weight to the little guy. Us 80% who are over here, who are only making up 20% of the donation, I want to give us a little bit more weight. I want to give us a little bit more, skin in the game. The process is honestly pretty simple, and realistically speaking, there's no end in sight to what this thing could become. YouTube already has everything that's built into this process. It's already baked in. Once you become a content creator and you get to the point of monetization, you're going to make revenue based on whatever it is you do, whatever the type of viewership you have, however long people stick around. All of that rolls up into one big thing and generates revenue based on ads. So if you click on this video and it runs an ad, we're not monetized quite yet. We're still working on it, but we're gonna get there. If you watch an ad, maybe you're watching this later on, it generates revenue for this channel. We can then use that money to directly make an impact on some sort of a life, whether that's giving it to a charity or whether that's giving it directly to somebody who is in need to be able to help them along the way of whatever it is that they need. Whether that's a family with a sick child, or whether that's somebody with that's homeless, or somebody that's battling a drug addiction, or just flat out supporting a good quality charity. We can do that. And at this point in time, we're not sure what the revenue is going to be out of this thing. I'm hoping that it's going to be something where we're making, hundreds of dollars a month, maybe thousands of dollars a month. We could get it to the point of $10,000 a month or more. It really just kind of depends on how the whole thing goes. It really depends on how the channel grows and what it does. But the thing is going to be is we have the ability to direct those funds wherever we want. We could pick a pet project, whether it's for right now or whether it's for a week or a day or a month. And we could say, everything that we're making off this channel for that one day, week, month will go towards whatever that cause is. And it gives us an outsized impact, just like those wealthy individuals, because they have the wealth, so they can make an impact greater than one normal person probably could. In this phase, we can take that power because we, as a team, can have a huge, huge impact. If we get 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 10 million people involved in this project, the amount of revenue that we can generate will be just the same as what a rich person could be able to donate. So we can fight in that same fight. We can make those same rule changes. We can make a difference as if we were that 20%, because we're one individual. We're one team. If that makes sense to you, I hope it does. I'm really, really excited about this thing, and I'm glad it's starting to grow. I'm glad there are people that are on board with this, and I think it's truly something that the world needs to see can be truly successful. The nice thing is, as I said at the beginning of the video, is you don't have to donate anything other than your time. That's all I need from you, is spend time on these videos, tell a friend, tell a family member, say, hey, you know what? I'm involved in this interesting new community that's really trying to do positive things and change the world for good. And use all of this social media stuff that we have that, typically speaking, is used to spread negativity and bad bleh stuff. And we can use all of those same things, but we can spread positivity. We can cheer each other on. We can encourage each other. We can help each other up. We can be there for each other. And while we're doing it, we're also making money for a good cause. You can get down in the comment section. You can post what's going on in your life right now, what struggles you may have. Maybe you need a little bit of a pick-me-up. You need somebody to say, hey, you know what? It's going to be okay. I've been there. I know how it is. You know what? I'm sorry that you're going through that, but tomorrow's going to be a better day. I've got a lot of crazy stuff going on in my life right now. I'm juggling an incredible amount of stuff outside of just trying to create content on this channel to keep this thing growing. I'm a really perpetually positive person. I'm a very, very energetic, upbeat, positive kind of guy. But even I get, moments where my armor is low, where I need to take a step back and I need to recharge my positivity batteries, where I need somebody to be able to lean on for a minute or just zone out with and, play a video game for an hour or two. Be able to sit back and relax and maybe, dive into my extremely expensive collection of adult beverages that I have here and just relax. Just come down and realize, you know what? The world is a tough place and you don't have to be strong. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be everything to everybody all the time. Sometimes you got to be able to sit back and say, you know what? I'm a little weak this week. I'm a little beaten down right now. But everybody we're building on this community can come together and support each other. And while we're doing that, while we're in the comment section, while we're watching a video, while we're doing something about it, we're generating revenue, which is actually going to be able to change the world. Now, whether or not that's going to be a small change or whether or not that's going to be a big change, honestly, it's just up to us. The faster we build this thing and the bigger we build this thing, the more impact we can have. If you look at somebody like a Mr. Beast, and I don't want to trade too much on his name because most people know who Mr. Beast is. But Jimmy was just a kid at home with a kind of bad family life that liked to play video games. And he started posting videos on YouTube. And he kept posting and he kept posting and he kept posting and he kept growing. And he kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Jimmy now is the largest creator on YouTube. He's got more than 200 million people that subscribe to his channel. He gets videos regularly over 50 to 100 million views. The revenue generation out of that is absolutely staggering mind-wise. He has a massive impact. He's one person. Now granted, he now has a team of a lot of people that actually work for him and help him create content. But he started out as one person. He's technically still kind of a one-person entity. He is Mr. Beast. But Mr. Beast has an enormous impact. If you put one Mr. Beast against 80 other content creators, I'm probably still going to take that one content creator, that Mr. Beast guy, because he has developed a community around what it is he does. Now, the nice thing with Mr. Beast is he's an extremely motivated gentleman, and he has an eye on improving the world. It's not just, hey, look, I'm rich. I can afford to buy Mount Rushmore. Or to shred a Lamborghini in the world's largest car shredder. Or buy an island and give it away to somebody. He does all kinds of crazy, outlandish stuff because it helps the brand. It keeps the community up and running. But on the other side of that, he has a project that he uses his wealth and his platform and his revenue to be able to improve lives. And that's truly, honestly, what I want to do. Now, I want to do it slightly without grinding up Lamborghinis and catapulting things through the air or doing crazy game show stuff. I want to do this on more of an older graybeard type of level. But the message and the mission are pretty similar. Have an outsized impact to be able to improve the lives of other people, to make this world a better place, and to improve everything. Just off of YouTube. That's the whole side. That's the whole idea. So I don't know if maybe that'll break the 80-20 rule, because maybe we get to that point where as a community we are able to have that voice and we are able to make that outsized impact, or if it doesn't succeed. The other thing we got to be honest about here is the wealth gap, at least especially in the United States, is continuing to grow. The haves versus the have-nots are getting further and further apart. I don't want to get into the political side of things. I don't want to get into any of the sticky conversations that you can have with a lot of that. But those two forces are moving further and further apart. And the people that don't have much, that are barely holding on by a thread, don't have nearly as much power or as much revenue as these people over here that are a much, much smaller group. And as those two forces get further and further apart, those haves begin to have even more influence. They can change policy. They can make or break a charity. If you have a person that donates, that's a billionaire, that donates $5 million a year, they can literally make or break a charity. They can change how something happens. They can change laws. They can make an incredible impact because they have money. Whereas that other person that's over here working 60 hours a week at a blue-collar job, has 2 kids and a wife that they're trying to support, and maybe somebody has some medical bills, they don't have anything that they can give. They're doing everything they possibly can to stay on, to hang on, and they can't impact things like they would like to be able to impact things. Other than here. Because here, we can bring all of those small folks together onto one team and maybe make a difference, like these little people over here that have a whole lot of outsized impact. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's my dream. Like I said, I'm a perpetual optimist, so maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but I'm damn sure going to try. Anyway, folks, that's the end of the video for the day. That's all I wanted to talk about. Tonight is Tuesday, and I did not get barbecue for my lunchtime today, so I am going to go to dinner with my lovely lady Katrina. As soon as she walks in the door, we're going to go to City Barbecue and get ourselves some ribs, and I'm going to get some cheesy bacon fries and probably 2 or 3 sweet teas, and I'm going to have a great rest of the night, and I hope you do as well. I will see you tomorrow for Hump Day Wednesday. Have a great Easter night. Bye-bye.